Tonight we're going to talk about the Illuminati with one of the members.
This is United Aholes, a video cast discussing cultural topics with no filter.
Welcome back to Area 41, Hiram Abiff's favorite spot on the internet. So, one of the a-holes happens to be a member of a group of people. I won't put any labels on it. I won't make any comments. But a lot of us, and I'm sure a lot of people out there, are kind of curious about, do you mind if I pick up your pillow?
Mm-mm. Wow, you're in. That's the pillow. That's how you get in. We're done.
That's exactly how you get in. So you're a Mason. You're a Mason. You're a Mason. You're a Mason. Catch Ryan.
You're a Mason. Oh, that's great.
So Kendall is a member of the Freemasons, and we all have many questions, but we've limited ourselves down to 2 apiece. So with that being said, I think I'll just open the floor. I'm going to start.
Go ahead.
Okay. So,
and
as clarity, we should say that you have the right to not answer a question.
That is true. I have the right to not answer a question. We are not a secret society, but we are a society of secrets. And I'm...
that was clever.
I will say this. I'm approaching this as a general information session, I'm not viewing this as them trying to get under my skin and make me fucking rage quit the episode.
Well,
challenge accepted.
Well, you got that candy coursed in the veins. Okay, so my first question, Kendall.
Yes.
It's a compass and a square.
That's right.
With a G.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, what does the G stand for?
The G stands for 2 things. Geometry and the sacred name of God.
Okay. The God? A God? Which?
Is this your second question?
Oh my God. Nope. I want clarity on the answer that you gave.
I just gave you the answer.
Oh. So we don't know.
We're avoiding that one. Next question.
Okay. So, my next question.
Yes.
How do I become a Mason? What are the steps of becoming a Mason, including even approaching to apply for membership, or whatever you want to call it, and to the steps from there, not detailed, but are there steps that I have to go through to become a Freemason? So what's the process? How do I become you?
Well, that's impossible.
The world only needs one me, Randy. To become a Mason, you just basically started the ball rolling by asking how you become a Mason. That's how it starts. You come to me and you say, how do I become a Mason? Now, if I know you really, really well, then I basically will go to another Mason and I will say, do you know Randy Ross? And I'll either get, oh yeah, fuck, Randy's a great guy. Or I know Randy, I've known him for 20 years. Why? Is he interested in becoming a Mason? He is. And then what happens is that he and I will get a petition and we'll get you to fill it out. And we both will sign it because there has to be 2 signatures on a petition for lodge.
Masons.
From 2 Masons. Now, stop right there. If you come to me and say, I would like to be a Mason, and I'll go to the lodge and I'll say, Randy Ross, you know Randy? No? Then I will say, Randy, first Thursday of the month, we have a meal before we go in session. Come to that. So I can introduce you to the brethren and they can get to know you a little bit. See what you're all about type of thing, and then go from there. Now, that may take a month, 2 months, 3 months, or, and then what happens sometimes is that a non-Mason might know you, and a Mason will know them, and say, I know yeah, he's a good guy or whatever.
Is this
Anyway, it
what
takes two.
This is what's called investigated.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. No.
No.
Sorry.
Nope. So then after somebody else feels comfortable of putting their signature on your petition, then it gets read in open lodge. And everybody basically has a say. And then the worshipful master, which would be the leader of the lodge, forms an investigating committee.
Okay.
It's 3 brothers, and they try and make it so that there's a new brother, an older brother, and an officer of the lodge. And those 3 guys will go and have a chat with you. And they'll also chat with your wife as well, too, if you're married, to get her feelings on you joining. And they'll ask you some questions, and you'll have a chat for about an hour. I've seen them last 3 hours. I've seen them last 25 minutes. All depends on how the conversation goes. And then once that happens, then the next regular business meeting, or our lodge meets first Thursday of the month, then the investigating committee will give a report. And then they'll also give a recommendation as well, too. And then what happens is that your name will go in our notice bulletin, and it'll say that we're going to be voting on you at this meeting. And then the meeting happens, and then it's a secret ballot on whether or not you get in. If you are elected not to get in, that's it.
Okay.
It's over. And then if you are elected, then you will start receiving the degrees of Freemasonry.
Okay.
And that's how it works.
Okay.
It's an old expression called to be one, ask one.
You can never reapply if you've been rejected?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can.
Once all of the current members are dead and gone.
And
gotta wait a
I've
while.
seen that happen, where somebody was not allowed to join, and then a couple years later they re-petitioned, and they were elected in.
And to be clear, there is no women in your group. It is a fraternity.
It is a male fraternity. There are no females. However, that's not to say that there has never been a woman Mason.
There are full Mason lodges of women.
Okay.
There's a female Masons organization movement. That's
Could
currently-
someone join the Woodstock Masons if they are a woman?
There is a concordant body, and see, I don't want to be giving answers for questions that people are going to ask.
Would they even take the application? We'll ask that then. If my wife asked you to join, would it even be considered, or would it just be, I'm sorry, but you're not a man?
Yes. However, there is a
Yeah, whoa. Yes to which one? Would they consider it or not?
No.
Not. Okay, so women can't join the Woodstock one, most likely.
There is a concordant body, the Masonic Lodge, that women can join.
It's got the Masonic bitches!
No, it's called the Order of the Eastern Star.
That's
All right.
much classier.
So, I got my 2 questions answered. There was some superfluous questions that were bounced in. We won't count those. I'm going to let Josh jump in and ask away.
Okay. I've been really excited to do this. Okay, so my first question, and it's kind of lengthy because you only gave me 2 questions. What is the importance of numerology and geometry in terms of Masons? We know the number 33 is huge in Masons. I don't know why. What is the importance of numerology and geometry, and does geometry tie in with the idea behind sacred geometry?
Well, knowing that the G stands for geometry, geometry is obviously very, very important.
Okay.
But not so much as the physical as the metaphorical.
Okay.
Whereas the square and compass, our operative masons back in the day used the square for the building.
Mm-hmm.
We, as free and accepted masons, are speculative. We use the square to square our actions.
Okay. Cool. My next question. I'm glad you brought up Hiram Abiff, because that kind of ties in with my next question. Okay, so I read the story of Hiram Abiff. Now, is that something I can kind of give some details about? That the story of.
You can go ahead and say what you read. Yeah.
My understanding of the story is there was a secret word that 3 people had each syllable. It was a 3-syllable word. 3 people had each syllable. Solomon, another guy.
Hiram, king of Tyre.
Yes, and then Hiram Abiff.
Mm-hmm.
Hiram Abiff was killed, and nobody found out the other syllable that he knew of, as far as I read and whatever. My question is, can you explain to me the concept and importance behind secret words in your organization?
The legend of Hiram basically comes down to the man himself choosing an honorable death over a dishonorable life.
Okay.
In terms of the word. He was asked to give it
Right.
to somebody that was not worthy of having it.
Right.
And even though it was at the hazard of his life, he held strong to his beliefs.
So what is the importance
And
of secret words? Where does that come from?
I just told you.
Okay.
Do you have a
Next.
couple questions?
Yeah. Okay. So
You looked a little.
I was a little perplexed on that last one because I don't know if he actually what was the importance.
We'll watch it back.
I don't feel like I have an answer, but he's not in time.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to. So
Anyway,
He gave the answer that
He gave the answer
was
he wanted to
appropriate,
give.
considering the topic
Yeah.
of
okay.
conversation.
So what I want to know is Masons.
Hmm?
Were they actually started by stonemasons? And if so, what kind of stonemasons? Like, and why was it stonemasons that, like, who started, why was it started, sort of deal?
The first official Freemasonry lodge was started in England in the 1800s. That's when it officially first formed. However, Freemasonry goes all the way back to the building of King Solomon's temple in the Bible. They were operative masons. That King
that
Solomon
ties
that
in with
job,
the story of Hiram.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay, cool. So they were stonemasons.
that's right.
Okay.
Think of it as being 2 types of masonry: operative and speculative. I'm obviously a speculative.
Operative means
mason.
you work with stone.
That's right.
Speculative means you work with ideals.
Okay, cool. What's the tie between, if any, between the Masons and the Knights Templar?
Okay.
There's the grid.
The Knights Templar is a concordant body of masonry. There's actually Blue Lodge, which is the most recognized and well-known aspect of the fraternity. Then there is the Royal Arch, then the Knights Templar, and then the next concordant body would be, you've all heard of the Shriners. Every Shriner is a Mason.
So it's a subset of masonry.
Yes. And every group has their own charitable cause. Royal Arch is literacy. We're kids with cancer. Just kids in general. We have the
You give
books
cancer
for
to kids?
We have the books book for bike books
Box
for
it up at
bikes
Christmas
program.
and they open
Yeah,
up their
Camp
tumors.
Good
And then
Time.
you're done for.
Camp Good Time for the kids with
It's like
cancer.
you give the man
of
anthrax,
course,
and
you
it's
know,
like,
all the
I know you were
shyness and
asking
everything.
for it, and it's like, oh, thanks. Anthrax, what I wanted.
I've got a.
I am a member of every single concordant body of the fraternity.
So you're a Mason. And
I am a Mason. I am a marked Mason in the Royal Arch. I am a Knight in the Knights Templar. I'm a noble in the Shrine.
And you're a Shriner.
And I'm also a member of the Order of the Eastern Star as well, too.
You can't
If
be.
you
You're
go
not
in-
a woman. Oh
It
wait,
is
so
co-ed.
men can go into the women's,
But
but women can't go into the men's. Now we're getting somewhere.
I think we just figured out the secret to the bisexual bathroom conundrum. Is that what we're talking about?
There's a lot of Masons whose wives actually join the Order of the Eastern Star, and somehow they make their husbands join as well, too. But it's-
Oh, so the women are really in charge then?
I would not argue with that,
No,
actually.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Whenever-
the real behind the scenes secret society that we don't know about. These guys are fronting it. The women are running the show. I'm going to die tomorrow after this episode airs because I just figured it out.
Yep, you're done
I'm
for.
a dead man. Marked for life.
I do have a third question. If we've got time. I'd like
Okay,
to
we'll come back to it. Brent, you got two?
I had 3 because I knew one of them was already going to be asked, and it was. So that narrows me down to 2. But I thought of another third one while we were talking.
Okay.
How rough was it going through the third gate?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. And have you ever been through the fourth gate?
I have no comment.
Nice. I knew you fuckers didn't know anything about that.
Can I ask Brent questions?
Nope. Answer again.
Can people of any religion join the Mason?
Yes, there is a Masonic lodge in every single country. And some lodges, in our Grand Lodge, actually, in St. John, which is the governing body of the province. There's also a Grand Lodge of Canada as well, too.
Okay.
There is the Holy Bible.
Yes.
There is the Quran.
Okay.
And there's also the Book of Hebrew as well, too.
Okay. So it's all faiths.
It's all faiths. Yes, absolutely. There's lodges in Russia. Our lodge actually has sponsored a lodge in Ukraine, actually,
Oh, cool.
once, years ago. Yeah. You can go anywhere in the world and run into a Mason.
How connected do you feel to everyone in your lodge?
How connected?
Yeah.
Very connected.
Have you ever gone there and felt unwelcome or no? It's always a positive experience.
I'm actually responsible.
Except for the third gate.
I'm partly responsible for the peace and harmony inside the lodge with my title, with my job, my role. Like
You're the voice of reason?
I'm the lodge chaplain. Anybody ever see an episode of MASH?
Oh, yeah.
Father Mulcahy?
Yeah.
Well, that's basically my role within the lodge.
But you're not an ordained
What was
minister.
Korea like?
Okay. He didn't say he was Father Mulcahy.
Oh, I thought he was okay. How's your hearing?
So does that sum it up for you? You good?
No, I wanted to talk about the third gate.
I mean, I have other questions too.
I'm going to leave it alone. I just want to wind him up.
Okay, anything?
Okay, and to clarify, as far as I know, there is no fourth gate, but I know that there is a third gate. So I wanted to see if he could go, what are you talking about? There is no fourth gate, but I could be wrong. Maybe there is. Anyway.
Anything, Duff?
Yeah. Are there any expensive Masons?
Expensive Masons in terms of, in what way?
Just
Like,
kidding.
oh.
Freemasons.
Oh.
Yeah, we're members of the paid for Masons. Charge Masons.
Yep,
Every once in a while, I'll ask myself a question.
Premium Masons.
Unless somebody had the question,
I got
what
more-
does actually free and accepted mean? Or what does free mean?
What does free mean?
I got a more.
Free man of your own will and accord. And
there you go.
accepted amongst brothers and fellows.
Right.
So you got another one?
Yeah. So you've talked about getting petitioned and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Why would I want to be a petition? Why would I want to join? Be a member?
Why would you want to be a member?
Yeah.
Good question.
Freemasonry is the largest and oldest fraternity in the world. It is
What was that about blind loyalty. Sorry. Buddy. So yeah, what is the benefits though? What do Masons do for the individual, and what does the Mason Lodge do for the local area and nationally and internationally?
Before he answers, I want to throw something out real quick that has exactly to do with this. I had someone tell me they joined so that an ex-father-in-law who was also in the Masons could then not, there would be no retribution for him splitting up with the daughter because I'm a Mason now, you can't touch me. And he got in too. He got in. I don't know if he still goes, but he got in.
He does.
He can't be touched. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's not.
So
Being
like
a
wise
Mason
guys?
doesn't mean that you regard the law.
No. I don't mean that. I just mean like,
Mason can't shed blood against another Mason.
well, or say something
Only
bad
Mason
about their,
can kill another Mason.
keep them from getting a
Like
job
ninja.
by saying, "Oh, he was married to my daughter and he's a real prick." Like if it gets found out that one Mason is bad mouthing another Mason, that becomes bad blood within the camp type of thing. He felt that he was more protected by being a Mason than not being. Was how
You gotta bend the knee.
I think he was also a little paranoid. I'll clarify. I don't think he was in danger of bodily harm or anything like that. He's doing just fine. But at that point in life, he felt like possibly things could go bad.
Yeah. You would have to ask that individual because obviously that's just his experience and his feelings on the matter.
Okay.
So what's the benefit of the Masons to society, and what is the benefit of the individual joining the Masons? What's the motivation there? If I don't know what you do and I don't know what you're about,
Right.
apart from the curiosity of wanting to know, what's my motivation to join it?
What do you mean you don't know what we do?
I don't know what you do.
You're a
You're a society of
You're a
secrets.
society of secrets.
Do you not know of
Besides
the
the
Books for
charities.
Bikes program that
Outside-
we have here locally in the
Outside
schools?
of charities.
Teaching kids to read.
Nope.
Outside
And
of
they
charity
get bikes. It was in several of the papers.
Don't read the paper.
The what?
Have you not
The
heard
paper.
of Camp
You
Good
know that
Time?
thing that came before the internet? They apparently.
Oh,
published
the
one.
newspaper.
Do you guys
Oh.
not never heard of
VHS?
Camp Good Time?
No.
A camp for kids that
No.
are recovering and coping with cancer.
You guys
Okay.
need to advertise more because seriously.
Right, but
I've
you're
never
talking
heard
about
of it.
charities.
No, it's province wide.
What's the benefit besides there's charities? What's the benefit if Randy joins? He's going to get
Peace and love.
A fraternity of gentlemen all over the world that have nothing but your best interest at heart.
Is there a secret handshake he can give to somebody when he's out somewhere in the world and he doesn't know anybody and they'll be like, "Oh, he's a Mason because he tickled my wrist."
There are different ways that we recognize each other.
Oh, there you go.
You know what the most common way is?
Hey, are you a Mason?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the boring
or
one,
a
though.
bumper sticker or a ring that you're wearing,
Oh, there
or
you go.
and even if you're wearing a ring, there are ways to tell
If it's fake,
if you're actually a member of the fraternity, because I run into this all the
The way you
time.
wear it.
I'll see the ring, I'll ask a question, they'll look at me and say, "Your grandfather's, eh?" Yeah. You shouldn't be wearing that.
oh,
In all honesty.
Oh, yeah, but that's a family heirloom, though. They wouldn't be allowed to wear. It'd be no different than grandma's necklace.
Nope.
Then again, I don't want the kid of the RCMP officer that got killed walking around with his gun and his uniform either.
Rings don't kill people.
People kill people.
Yeah, who are wearing rings are not supposed to.
All right.
If you're in trouble and you're going through a difficult time,
Okay.
we're there for you.
All right. All right.
Support emotionally.
Emotionally, physically, financially. You can't go to a Mason and say, "Hey, I'm selling cars now, so you need to buy a car from me because I'm a Mason." But
But that
You-
happens.
you can, well, we like to look after each other,
Ah, there
obviously.
you go. There you go.
However, that is
We
not a
do.
requirement or a bylaw or a law. However, I will say this.
Who keeps the aliens under wraps?
What's going on? Who rigs every Oscar night?
I friggin' love. It's one of the
The
best things that
Stonecutters.
ever come out of the
Simpsons
Simpsons.
he's referring to.
Yeah.
However, I will use my
What were they called, though?
Stonecutters.
Stone cutters. Yeah. Okay.
He needs to take the
I didn't
wax
hear
out
you.
of his ear.
I didn't hear you.
I will use myself as an example. I went once 4 months without any income. And once the brethren found out, my rent was paid, They made sure that I had food in my fridge. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is very.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Can I ask a spicy question?
Oh boy. Yes, you can.
Go ahead.
Okay. You don't have to answer. Is it true that it is a rule amongst the Masons that you cannot be a witness against a fellow Mason? As far if they're charged with a crime, you're not allowed to.
That's not spicy. I thought you were going to ask, like, if they weren't allowed to sleep with other Masons' wives.
Okay. Now I'm going to basically tell a little story that is a matter of public record because it was in the courts.
Right.
Okay. I know, baby. When are all these guys gonna leave? Soon.
We're well loved in Area 41.
A Mason went to another Mason and said, yeah, I'm going to be bringing a truckload of illegal cigarettes across the border.
I heard this story.
And I need you to look the other way. The other Mason did not look the other way. And the law enforcement was there and everything. And he was arrested. The prosecutor for the Crown was a Mason. And the guy who was on trial actually brought our handbook into the trial and basically said, I should be found not guilty because he should be disqualified as a witness because I'm a brother and he's a brother and he shouldn't have told anything. Well, it's like that. I'll read the book and interpret it in a way that suits my purpose. Because he read to here. If he'd read the next two lines, he would have.
It's kind of like page 60 of the driver's handbook by the province of New Brunswick.
Go fuck yourself. he would have clearly known that the guy that was working for the border had 0% leeway in not
His job has to come first.
reporting.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
I would say
Before Masons?
the
Before
law-
Brotherhood?
Yeah, because you lose your fucking job when you get caught looking the other way to let a thing of cigarettes through, and you're not going to get your job back because you're part of the Masons.
My question though is how would that be seen amongst the rest of the Masons in the Mason world? Because
Would I not be correct in saying that the guy that asked a brother to do something illegal, that's out of the fucking realm of what you ask another brother to do? That's the
Absolutely.
guy that fucked up, right?
Out of all our oaths that we take, the number one rule is that they do not affect your duty to what you owe yourself, your country, your fellow man, and God. With this assurance, are you willing to receive it?
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
So you don't just get to do whatever you want to because somebody else is a Mason.
it's not a free pass.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not a free pass. It's hey, I'm
It's
I'm-
use your fucking
I'm-
head, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a free pass.
How many degrees are there? 33?
There's a few.
You second degree?
Black belt.
What would you do if I was walking around telling people I was a Mason and I'm not?
You disappear.
That's a good question.
What's that?
What would you do if I was walking around town telling people I'm a Mason, even though I'm not?
Stolen valor.
What could I do?
You'll eventually get found out, I would assume, would be
Oh, yeah.
because
That's what I'm wondering. It's obviously the group would not want that to happen.
Yeah.
So do you have tactics to
Is there a
dissuade
protocol?
people?
I would have the same recourse to say if somebody was walking around town saying they were a member of
United Assholes.
the Bolacade team. I mean, I'll probably make a statement, maybe. I will say that the Woodstock Lodge is one of the most thriving lodges, not only in the province, but in the whole country of Canada.
Wow,
Yes.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you have numbers to back that up?
They do, but you'll never see them.